Hey guys, it's me, Assad.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Ibrahim.
Welcome back to Two Bros and a Beard. Today we decided a little bit of a tangent that we went on before the podcast that we immediately realized would be a better thing to record was generational gaps, or just like Gen X and Y and Z stuff in general.
Yeah.
We're Gen Y. So we are in the middle between the
Is that really
two
what we're
current
called?
generations. I think it's
We're
it's
Gen Y. We got
Because
such an ugly letter.
X is millennials, Z, and then after that they're going like alpha, beta, like into Roman stuff.
Oh no.
But we sit right in the middle, and we were just thinking about like all of the different things that we do, the
lifestyle,
and the culture and stuff. Even though it's like micro, if you really look at it.
Yeah.
But we just thought they were interesting. But briefly, before we touch on that, we just wanted to say that the time between the first episode and the second episode was around 7 months.
Okay, so here's the thing. All right. Hear me out. Okay.
Yeah, here's the tea.
Here's the tea. And for you younglings, I'm not gonna call you old. For you younglings that don't know what tea is like gossip. Okay. Here's the tea. Right. Here's the truth behind it. We recorded the first episode, and then we recorded the second episode. And then we realized the second episode didn't have audio to it, so we were just kind of talking to ourselves for an hour.
Yeah, we set the recorder on the wrong channel, so the entire time, because there was no audio input,
There was
recorded
nothing.
2 hours of nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we were like, okay, we should re-record this. But I had to go home and do stuff because I was still, living that life. And eventually one day became a week, became a month, became 2 months, became a pandemic. Became 7 months.
So it just took us a little while. But
so
anyway,
we're back.
That's why the answers, we went from looking for jobs to having quit jobs and things like that.
But it's back.
Yeah.
We're back. We're fine. We're chilling. We're back to this regime. We're fine.
Yeah.
Especially that we're gonna go to school together now, so we might actually be able to stay on top of this.
It'll actually be a little bit more cohesive, maybe.
Oh, and we can finally use their equipment and stuff.
Yes, school recording stuff.
So better than what we got.
Yeah.
And a sound room that actually has air conditioning.
Yeah, that's literally, this room is so perfect, if not for a little bit of like the ground floor stuff and the air conditioning.
Yeah.
But
anyway, we're back with a different topic. We don't want to talk about that little stuff anymore.
Talking about Gen Z stuff.
We're talking about the weirdness in different millennials and gaps in generations.
Yeah, we're not really like the utmost authority on Gen Z stuff or Gen Y stuff.
Yeah, no. Anything we say right now, please don't take to heart.
Yeah,
we also don't know half the stuff that we're talking about.
I think something we'll go into a little later, but like I'm very much like a traditionalist insider. Like I'm a pretty old man, so I still have like pretty dusty old ideas and things like that. But I do notice some differences.
Yeah, there's a lot of differences. The reason why we just decided to talk about this topic in specific was because like the world we're living in now, you can see a little bit of like change between like our generation, the younger generation, and like the millennials. So what we call Gen X, Y, and Z. Gen X is the millennials. Anyone older, what was this, like 1985 or something like that, 1995?
Man, see, I just like using the names because like I got into an argument with somebody, but basically people are very, very angry about when the borderlines are for the generations.
That's why I don't know.
People get so pissed, so I just say it's
I was Googling it before we started recording, and I was like, why are there 4 different dates for like every single website?
Like, we have our history teacher. He's technically a millennial, even though he's on the older end.
Yeah,
Mr. Wright. And we also have like kids are like in our groups who are on the boomer end, but there's just too many stuff. So I just like to use the names, and then the boundaries are made up to whoever wants to listen to them.
So Gen X is older than us. Gen Z is the people younger than us.
And Gen Y is us. That's the perfect way to put it.
Gen Y is me and Assad. We are the Gen Y.
It is relative very much to just you and I.
Now, I don't know. Okay, there's a lot of different things we can discuss about this.
Well, first one that you brought up when we were talking on the side
social media,
TikTok and
social media.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's I'll set the stage, right? A lot of people have mixed feelings about TikTok, right? I have TikTok. Do you have TikTok?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
Okay, here's the thing. Don't judge me for having TikTok.
No.
Here's the thing.
I see the validity in the app.
I am part of those group in the world, which I think Gen Y is majority of that group, or like our age type people who have TikTok but don't do anything in TikTok. We just watch the videos. A lot of us might like make a video here now and then, but we're not that avid TikTokers, right? We're not TikTokers, or what are they called now? Creators,
creators,
something like that. Whatever it is.
I cringe at all those words.
Those are some made up words.
That's actually something interesting, though. I'd love to see the breakdown of viewers versus creators and their ages, because I think you're right. Gen Zs are definitely creating more, and then older people are also creating more, but all the people in the middle are kind of just watching.
Half the people I'm following, well, not maybe half, but like some of them are like either my age or like a year or two behind me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know how I ended up there. Like,
it's also because they're prettier than we are.
Yeah, it's a lot prettier than we are.
Yeah, but I think, like, personally for me, I absolutely hate TikTok, especially knowing Musically that came before, and then Vine, which
Musically and Vine,
eternally rest in peace. It's interesting, but the Gen Zs who are growing up now, who never had access to Vine or Musically, right? This to them is their gold mine.
Also, I literally just thought of this right now. TikTok and Vine, the weirdness about it is that Vine is like 6 seconds, right? 6 or 7 seconds. TikTok, you have so much more time, and now like recently they added like a 3-minute thing, a setting, and so like you have enough time to, I don't know, dance, sing, create a thing. Vine, you had 6 seconds, 7 seconds, and so you don't have enough time to like, I'm gonna sing today or I'm gonna dance today. You had 6 seconds.
Yeah, you had to really fit as much as you could.
You had to be like someone, like a celebrity at one point. You have to be funny or like amazing, talented in 6 seconds. Now it's like, I'm gonna go out there and dance, boys.
I don't want to necessarily say that there is like a deficit in talent because they had less time and they could do more. But I definitely do think that the challenge of making more of yourself with less time is not as much there. In TikTok.
Let's back that up, because we're not comparing social medias right now. Where the idea of TikTok is, the reason I brought up TikTok was because I know a lot of, I'm gonna say adults. I'm going to say a lot of adults and millennials, or people older than me, and I saw it. By the way, I'm 19.
Yeah, we're both 19.
Yeah, we're both 19, and so I guess we're like young adults.
Yeah,
we classify as young adults.
Adults
who are no longer in their teens and like kind of higher up in the 20s.
Some people keep saying, like, telling me that 19 is teenager, and I think according to the law of it has teen in the name, sure, but as far as like life stuff, we're definitely past teen.
I am, as soon as you become 18, in my book, you're an adult because you go to big boy jail. You go to big boy jail, so that makes you an adult.
When the jail time changes, the in life time changes.
Yeah. Whenever you're officially kicked out of your parents' insurance, you're big boy.
Dude, but like you were saying.
Yeah, so I think I've heard at least like a lot of millennials and like older people, they dislike the idea of like TikTok and certain social medias, which we'll get into in a bit. But honestly, bro, I can see it. Like one end of the spectrum, they completely hate it. One other end of the spectrum is they're completely on it. They literally run TikTok. We're in the middle. I don't deal with TikTok, but I just watch the videos.
Yeah, it's not even a thing in my life really, unless like my friend sent it to me.
Yeah,
it's more like just sending me like a YouTube video.
Yeah, and so it's kind of interesting to see like the two different spectrums of everything. And that's kind of what we want to talk about, kind of like today, because
there's a deficit. There's definitely a lot of differences between. And you know what I just thought about? Imagine like some, like, you know how we have like YouTube videos or like compilations or stuff, like TikToks that have Vine energy or stuff that commemorated Vine. There will be a day that the kids who are growing up now, they'll see something that says blank new app that has TikTok energy. And that's the day that I'm gonna face palm on the internet, bro. Because
like,
I'm gonna be like, y'all don't even remember.
We've fallen so far.
Yeah, when my arthritis kicks in or all my old man bones start creaking, I'm like, these youngins don't understand.
They don't understand the TikTok.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of other things like that.
I don't find I can acknowledge that there is good talent and good content on TikTok, but usually bigger, really popular things, you judge them by the mainstream.
Yeah,
and the mainstream is not really that good. No. In fact, it creates very again, I'm gonna sound like an old man, very egotistical, very like narcissistic kids, very very weird. People who watch it and create it. So to me, it's just like when I watch it and see it, I'm just like, it's not entertaining to me. Partly because of that maturity, I see past the initial veil of entertainment. So then I'm thinking like this is just stupid.
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of times where I'm looking at social media and like not even TikTok in specific, like Instagram, Facebook, whatever the case is.
Yeah, just social media.
And you see things, you're like, that's stupid. Now, I don't know if that's because that's who I am and I think that's stupid, or that's because I'm growing up and I think that's stupid.
Dude, even like Facebook scammers and things like that, with their stupid, like, weird text meme posts trying to convince people, Facebook mom stuff. Yeah. Dude, I thought that on an app like TikTok that's run by the children, that would not happen. But unfortunately, there are still people that are like, yo, the vaccine made my arm magnetic, or I just saw a UFO, guys. Whoa, this is so real. And then all the little kids in the comments are like, oh my god, this has to be truth because no one would lie to me on the internet.
Yeah, no. The internet's completely like a no-lie zone. Everything's true. If you see it on the internet, it's completely true.
It has to be, right? It has
100%,
to be.
100%.
Corona is 5G. My mom is a robot.
Yeah.
We're in a simulation.
And the Bermuda Triangle, whenever planes fly through it, the aliens become jinns and they become devils.
Yeah.
They live there for the rest of their lives.
And then they crawl in through your nails and then they get into your soul.
Yeah, and that's why everyone's a horrible person.
But yeah, I think as far as like social media, I noticed this with creators and other people who I followed and watched them grow up, but also myself.
Yeah.
I use it less and less for the actual purpose it's advertised and more just to either keep up with people, look at art or other like cool things, or like more niche zones of content instead of with the actual thing. Like Instagram is all about posting to, show people what you're like. I haven't posted a single thing in so long that to me Instagram is more like I go here for art, I go here for inspiration, or I see a nice picture to see what my friends are up to. I don't go to like flash my life in front of people.
Yeah, no, I literally just looked right now. When was the last time I posted something on Instagram? And it was a year ago. And then before that, it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think the last thing I posted was my grad pics.
Yeah, that was the last thing I posted. Before that,
because I look at my Instagram almost like a timeline of my life. So like I do want to post things from me in the future to look back and be like, oh yeah, this was like a milestone. This is like a thing you did that's memorable. But even within that, the discrimination of events is so tight.
Yeah, and so it's like I no longer really use Instagram. It's more of like, I don't know, news, upcoming random things. I kind of just look at that. I have Twitter, but I don't even use Twitter.
Yeah, something I appreciate more of social media is, even though it's incredibly broken, or like, Reddit. Yeah. It's a lot less of all that other stuff and more like you go here for niches and you find your niche and then you go there. So I go for memes, I go for satisfying videos, or I go for like animations, or I go for like storytelling. Like there's a time I effed up and Am I the Butthole? Yeah. And all those fun dudes read stories. There's so much fun. But like it's not like watching this girl with big body part or looking at this guy with really nice car. It's just more like I wanted XYZ thing.
So I find XYZ thing.
Yeah. And the algorithms for all of the other apps are whack, bro.
Yeah.
They're so whack. I just say like baseball broom and I get like YouTube ads on like MLB major. You want to get into this card game? You want to buy the 2K game? You want to do this, do that? I'm like, whoa, man.
I know you don't scroll through TikTok and I do, but sometimes I'm going through my TikTok and I'm just like,
yeah, people tell me the For You's kind of cracked.
Yeah, like I'm looking at my For You page and I understand like you send someone something, you like something, it'll bring that back. But sometimes you're going through it and you're like, how did I get to like Chinese jumping off a cliff into a swan dive into like the lake?
Yeah. There's conversations that I've had with people, discreet conversations, and then they send me a TikTok and they're like, dude, it's literally what we were talking about. And I'm like, dude, it's okay, man. The government knows everything.
I had a conversation with one of our friends about like the dentist, and somehow my Google, my YouTube, and my TikTok all started bringing up dentist things.
Dude, bet now my Instagram ads are gonna be like, hey, buy this new like inliner, or you know, get this teeth surgery, or you know. It's kind of cracked, but the internet watching you was a conversation for another day.
Yeah, everyone's watching you at this point.
So like, I think Gen Zs, because they're not adults all yet, or they're just like more like that, they're a lot more open minded about social media. They're still like, like older people.
They think everything works.
You know you're older if you can see Twitter for what it really is.
Yeah.
But if you still think Twitter is just a place for people to share opinions and have fun, then you absolutely have no idea what the internet is about. Because Twitter is literally the last place you want to go for a peaceful conversation with somebody.
Absolutely not.
Unless you literally type in the keywords wholesome, you're not going to find anything wholesome.
Unless you're talking to your friend.
But
at that moment, you're also not going to get.
And millennials, they are the ones that taught me that. Yeah. They're the ones that were like, yeah, no, this is not like... Social media is definitely way different than the purpose from when we were kids and when we were growing up, and now it's way out of hand.
For example, like look at Facebook right now. Yeah.
Oh,
I think Facebook...
The demographic shift for Facebook.
I feel like Facebook is the only one that's kind of still on the path of where it was created for.
Yeah. It's just the only thing that happened is all the young people got sucked out.
Yeah.
That's it.
And so now it's just like older millennials.
Yeah. And it's
older moms, dads, grandpas, aunts, uncles.
Even after all like the data scares and things like that, everybody I know still has a Facebook.
Yeah, no, they still have a Facebook and they're kind of just on there to like, oh my god, look, my son graduated today.
Dude, do you remember the struggle of like mobile games and things like that when you had to have a Facebook to get certain perks? So when I was a kid, I couldn't make a fake Facebook because I didn't know how. I did that for everything else. And the day I got a Facebook, and then my dad was like, listen, they're stealing data. Don't don't have Facebook. I was like, no, all of my coins, all of the things that I get in my
like
apps
games
are gone.
and stuff like that. Yeah. I remember I made my Facebook. Shoot, when did I make my Facebook? Like 6th grade, 7th grade? No, 6th grade, I think.
Jesus, man, I made it in like 9th grade.
No, I made it in 6th grade because I remember my profile picture still to this day, like 4 or 5 years later, is me during a 7th grade football game. And I look like a freaking weirdo with like my half mustache, my half beard, and stuff like that, and my football outfit. And I still have it to this day. I just never get back on it.
Yeah. Facebook,
like I don't have anything to post. Like I don't even post things on Instagram, but for me to even go post on Facebook.
I know people who use Messenger, Facebook Messenger,
all
more
my,
than actual
all my
Facebook.
Like family members who are like older, like moms, aunts, and stuff like that. Moms and dads and uncles and aunts and people overseas, they still use Messenger.
They use FB Messenger.
And I see I have it connected to my email, so I'll have the Messenger notification like someone has messaged you. I'm like, I'm not gonna log into you, bro. I'm not logging into that anytime soon.
Another big difference between the generations, I think, is we're not gonna go into the gritties, but like political temperament.
Yeah,
I feel like
politics and Gen Z don't add up.
I feel like a lot of the average Gen Y people, super politically neutral, super pretty muted. Gen Z's ecstatic.
Gen Z's, yeah, they want the world to change to what they want.
Yeah, for us, we were like, the millennials were the ones who they got handed that task from the last generation to fix the world. We're the ones who are like getting on board with that right now, and the Gen Z's are like jumping onto that way quicker. We're all like trying to do it nice and slowly, and they're like shouting about it. I'm not necessarily a bad thing, but I definitely feel like the temperament of like people our age is just a lot more mellow, a lot more. You have very extreme people like you always will, but all the people in the middle, we're pretty much just chilling.
So like I personally don't follow news that much.
Yeah, me neither.
Like if I see it on if I see it on like I don't know, TikTok or Instagram or someone texts me about it, sure, I'll see it. But for me to like go on the news or like go to like CNN.com or something, I would probably never do that.
Yeah, I think for me, after this last presidential election, the moment it was over, I was like, all right, well, there's no reason for me to care anymore.
No, okay.
I just kind of stopped.
I completely agree with that. But even like for me, like I was like, okay, listen, he's a president. Move on. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, there's nothing big that happens.
Like, I understand things happen. Every now and then it pops up and like I see it, but I'm just like, dude,
see, there's a deeper conversation there about media making us not like checking the news anymore because of the unreliability. But honestly, that is just a symptom of the generation itself. So I'm just gonna loop that in with the generational issues.
There was one comedian, I forgot who it was. It kept talking about like how the news only shows the bad.
Yeah. There was a lot of psychologists who were talking about that too.
If it showed something like positive, like, hey, puppy just found. Cool. Everyone's happy now in the morning. But you know how like morning news?
Oh my god, morning news.
You wake up and you see like a murder and everything. How's the rest of your day gonna go?
That used to be how I got my news. I'd wake up in the morning, my dad and mom were watching politically unbiased news about what was going on in the morning, and then I go into school and I knew all that information. Yeah. There was actually like psychological studies done and also just explanations where like they talk about. It makes sense. We do it to ourselves. People like bad things more than good things. Bad things get more ratings. Bad things get more clicks. So that's why people on the news broadcast bad things a lot more because it gets people's attention.
Yeah, whenever you see a car accident on your left, you're like, I'm going to slow down real quick.
Oh my God. Like whenever you see something big on, and then because of politics and things like that permeating news, it just fully became only bad things.
Yeah.
And I think my dad, who was an avid news watcher, even he stopped watching the news when the pandemic started because just keeping up with how bad the world was and how stressed everybody was gave him and I stress. Yeah. So then we just stopped caring. And I literally have not looked at the total count of anything in so long. And it's so good because I just don't think about it anymore. The last statistic I think I heard globally about things was like the vaccination rate. Yeah. But that's basically it. Like that's all I really know about the world's goings on. I hear about shootings after they happen or any big dramatic world things.
My dad watches the news. During the pandemic he watched a lot of news. And then now that kind of pandemic's kind of like slowing down a little bit, he still watches the news, but every now and then he'll switch over to like the Middle Eastern news. And he'll just watch that stuff. Yeah, my mom too. They prefer the overseas news because it is a lot more unsaturated, a lot more... It's just the truth. Just the truth. Yeah, mostly. The guys that... Middle Eastern news... I'm not going to talk about this too long, but Middle Eastern news is the funniest thing to watch because either that person's really, really calm and like, hello everyone, this is the news for today, or they're like yelling and everyone's arguing and they're like, no, you are wrong. I'm like, dude... Relax. Yeah. People overseas are a lot more unfiltered. And I was talking to my dad. I'm like, dude, why is this guy yelling? He goes, oh no, he's just very passive.
Oh yeah. The only
He
thing
just likes to talk a lot.
the only thing you have to worry about in overseas news is government corruption of the news. That's it. That's all you have to. You don't have to worry about political bias. You just have to worry about whether the government wants you to know what you're seeing.
Bro, during our past election and everything, bro, I was watching Middle Eastern news with my dad, and the guy was the news anchor was literally cussing out like half the candidates. I'm like,
yeah,
you're allowed to do this?
No, dude, I saw so many things on media where literally the whole world was just disappointed in America.
Yeah.
They were like, listen, we don't usually care about what the goings on in America, but now we extra don't care. So like, you just stay in your side of the hemisphere. And anyway, political temperament, I definitely think is very different between the generations.
Yeah, I think millennials are really into news, kind of, mainly. They look at, for example, like say the election, like since we keep bringing it up, they look at the election, and they're like, okay, this is what's going on. Gen Z, they're like, we're gonna look at it a little bit.
Yeah, I think they jump faster than they look.
Yeah,
we don't look and don't care.
You see just the head. You know how people like read the whole article.
Yeah,
they look at the title and like that's what's going on,
and then they boom off of that,
and they don't even look at the rest of the article.
Yeah.
We can either not read it or we're gonna read the full thing and then just not care anymore.
Yeah.
We'll be like, oh, okay, so now there's a new pandemic. Cool.
Yeah.
Next.
And it's also annoying because even politically or whatever, bias, it's permeated even written news.
Yeah.
So it's very it's when I even think about the aspect of reading, I'm like, nah, man, there's like no point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't read newses to no, bro. Yeah. Last time I read something like article or like something news or politics was for a government assignment. Like that's it.
I'm like the billionth person to say this, but I get my news through memes mostly.
Yeah, no, memes.
If I see it being joked about, if I see it being spoken about on the internet, then I know about it. Like all the fighting, the YouTuber fighting stuff, I figured that out.
Okay, yeah, no, we're gonna go back to that real quick. I know we talked about social media gossip and stupidity,
YouTuber fighting is so
bro.
stupid.
Any sort of YouTube fights, creator fights, influencer fights, celebrity fights, and that whole idea behind it. I don't know if it's just me, or I'm a millennial, or a young adult. That is the dumbest thing on earth.
Yeah, I was watching the TMG podcast. If you've heard of Cody Ko and Noel, they were talking about. They gave a basic argument, and they were basically explaining it's not gonna go away.
No, it's not. Probably not.
It's pretty much
but
concrete now.
It's so annoying that there's so much like focused on celebrities and their fights and who's talking to who. You know, Snapchat. I love Snapchat. That's great. It's another way of talking, right? But the Snapchat ads and stories and stuff like.
That's why I don't check them.
What did Kylie Jenner eat today?
What did she sniff in the morning?
I don't know and I don't care.
It's and another thing.
But then Gen Z is like, oh, what did she eat?
I think a symptom of Gen Zs they are because their celebrities are still being made for them. A lot more of social media people are idols for them rather than just literally like Hollywood celebrities.
Yeah.
So that's why when these people do things, they get more traction because it's all the people who believe they are actually like. If you ask me, phase anybody, are they a celebrity? I'd be like, hell no. They're just some gaming dude, right? Yeah. But if you ask some guy, FaZe Jarvis, right, a Gen Z, they'd be like, oh my god,
I know everything about him, and I know exactly what he talked about.
Yeah, and I'm like,
then this, and then on his stream, he was at literally 2 hours and 46 seconds in. Yeah, bro, he did this, and this, and this.
Yeah,
and this,
I literally would not be able to like.
I'm like, huh?
Because we came from that era of the internet where we saw where they started, so we know that they're small people. But Gen Zs are coming in, seeing them big.
We've seen the true them, and that might sound weird, but like we've seen like. Whenever they're growing up and they're still making like crappy YouTube videos in their like basement and stuff like that. Yeah, they're like, oh, that's the realest people you're gonna get. But once money starts coming into play, sponsorships, fame, and all that stuff, then people start changing. And that one saying, "Money changes you." Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll touch on that a little bit more, but yeah, that's definitely like.
Any of that gossip and like transition. Any sort of that gossip or fights or tea or any of that stuff online, I think is the dumbest thing on earth. Because first of all. I'm gonna give it to them. Everyone gets into like a fight or something like that.
Yeah.
Or gossip or like tea, but why is there so much like spotlight on it?
Oh, internet drama in general. If you say the right things and you blow up the right way, even if it's negative press, it'll eventually benefit.
If we eventually get very, very famous, and I say something on here, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, Abraham said this, and this,"
dude.
And like,
even
does that mean he hates people?
Even if it's bad, it'll still get you good traction, and that's why people do it.
Heck, money
because it still gets people stuff. But like I also gonna touch pretty briefly, but like cancel culture is something that is pretty evident in our generation.
Our generation and
I guess like we're 50-50. Sometimes we cancel, sometimes we don't. Millennials either start the canceling or are completely out of it.
Yeah.
And Gen Zs are typically the fodder for the fire.
I think cancel culture and that whole idea behind it is weird to try to put to a generation, to a specific generation, just because I've seen like I don't know. I've seen pictures of a bunch of people who, I don't know, are older than me and they're trying to fight for one thing. And then also younger people are like, no, I want to do this instead. Or our generation, I want to do this instead. So it's kind of hard to say that cancel culture is just one generation.
Yeah, I think it escalates just over time.
Yeah, I think it like depends on what. Also, it depends on like what the topic is.
It seems to be it's kind of because it's the internet's like the people on the internet's way to actually incite change, and just like any mob with pitchforks or just like anybody who has any semblance of power, people take it pretty far.
If she breathes, she's on. Anyway,
yeah, and I'm not a fan of canceling, but I'm also not a fan of what people do. Like I will take offense to things.
Yeah,
but I don't think myself responsible for holding people like it. You know, it's gonna happen either way, and eventually, you know, anyway, cancel culture still makes those same people they benefit off of it at the end of the day anyway.
I had a conversation with my government teacher. I don't remember when, and he was saying, "What do you think about the First Amendment, freedom of speech?" Right? It's about to get really weird and political, but not really. He's like, "What do you think of the First Amendment?" I'm like, "First Amendment, you know, free speech." I'm like, "Yeah, you say whatever you want, unless it's like discriminating or something horrible. You're perfectly fine." He goes, "Yeah. How long do you think that's gonna last?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "How long do you think the free speech is gonna last?" I'm like, "Isn't it in the Constitution? Isn't it supposed to last forever?" He goes, "Yeah, but look at the world right now. How long do you think it'll last?"
Oh yeah, I definitely.
I was like, "Wait, you're actually onto something."
I talked about this a lot with our government teacher in high school, but we are abusing the freedom of speech. I mean, like people always have. This is not just a 21st century problem. It's always been like that, but because of how integrated the internet is, because of its reach, because of how much you're able to say now, being small or big, and how much traction you can get, we are definitely abusing the freedom of speech, especially people higher up, especially people who are in
it's weird because freedom of speech can be like, yeah, I'm gonna say whatever you want and they won't get in trouble, or the complete opposite, I'm gonna say this even if it's not bad and you're still gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, he was saying, like, he was like, how long do you think freedom of speech is actually gonna be a thing? Because sooner or later it's gonna run out, it's gonna be canceled, and it's just not gonna be a thing anymore because you're not to say certain things, you're not to do certain things. Freedom of speech pretty much says you can express yourself, but expressing yourself, if you get pissed off the way I express myself, then we have an issue.
See, the way the social contract works is that everybody has to agree to not do something bad. But when people start doing bad things, people as a whole get their rights.
But who said they're bad, huh?
The people who also are experiencing it. So that's why it's up to the majority.
Yeah, so like if you like, I don't know, chew with your mouth open, I'm gonna get annoyed at that. Maybe someone else isn't gonna get annoyed at that. But if me being annoyed at that, I'm be like, hey, stop that. But that's how I chew. Sucks to suck. Change your chewing.
Sucks to suck. Change your chewing. And who are you to decide whether that's right or wrong?
Yeah.
It's so complicated,
bro. It's.
I just think generally people should not be as like fervent, bro. That's another thing. I don't know about Gen Zs. I don't know about Gen Ys. I don't know about millennials. But I don't understand people in the comment section. I don't understand people in Twitch like comments or streams, chat, anything. Why people are so vocal on the internet. I don't have the urge to say anything to anybody. I just have the urge to consume. But I don't understand why people take it on themselves to talk. Like it's, on that so same annoying.
Note, I can go into like so much into this. Like for example, like rappers and like artists and freaking streamers or YouTubers. You're gonna get a lot of hate, no matter who you are. You're gonna get hate. We're probably gonna get hate for our podcast. Doesn't really matter. But all those people that start coming out and be like, if you're gonna give me hate, first of all, why are you here? I don't need your hate. I understand that you don't like my podcast. That's fine. Don't listen to it.
Yeah, I feel like
that's not hurting me.
I have that basic understanding of I don't want to say negative things to people, so I won't.
Yeah, and I think that's Gen Y type of thing.
I feel like most people don't.
Yeah.
But then there's millions of people online flooding people's inboxes and just trying to hurt them as much as possible.
Yeah,
because they know that their face isn't there and they don't need to feel any moral consequences of what they're doing.
And I'm gonna go into generation type thing. Gen X, I have no clue. You can probably weigh on this, but Gen Y is the people that are like, we understand, I don't like this streamer, artist, whatever, I'm just gonna stop listening to them, or like I'm not gonna actually go and tell them, hey, you're trash, stop doing what you're doing. And then Gen Z is like, you're trash, stop doing what you're doing. Yeah. I don't know about Gen X though.
Same thing on that TMG podcast. They were saying that younger kids on TikTok or just in general, they find it a lot easier to be mean to one another because they also care about everything everyone says less.
Yeah.
So they'll say whatever. Millennials, I feel like they are either all like trying to do that comment section stuff, trying to say stuff, or none of them do.
Yeah.
It's pretty much half. And we're like, again, pretty middle. Like we just.
I've never like left a comment or like while watching a stream be like, hey, you're trash.
Like I don't really.
I'll just stop watching
at all. Well, but when I do, most of the time, what I try to do is like, because YouTubers talk about how much hate they get. I'm like psychologically when I write my comments. Bro, like if I'm trying to encourage, I try to word it so carefully so that they don't get mad at me. Yeah. Because everybody else who's been bad is setting a bad example.
For us as well, if we're gonna say something bad, we know how to say it correctly.
Yeah, there's so many other ways, nicer, better, different ways.
Yeah.
And people just somehow just ignore those ways.
Like, hey, by the way, I was offended by the way you said this. That's a structured, sounded, like, that makes sense. Not, bro, you're trash. Why'd you talk about that?
You piece of bleep, mother bleep, why you bleep.
Yeah, there's certain, even if you don't like them, there's certain ways to speak to people. Even if you have zero respect for them. If someone walks up to your mother and starts saying the same exact thing you just said, you're going to have an issue with it. Just because you don't know them and there's no connection to it doesn't mean you just talk trash.
For the same reason that on the internet you can do whatever you want and your face isn't on there, you should be thinking in the same way. If there are people saying what I don't like, I can just not listen to them.
Yeah.
Because giving them a platform makes them have a louder voice.
Yeah.
So arguing with them and then coming down to their level and doing the same things just kind of escalates problems, really. Only makes things worse.
Yeah, and then we're back to the whole gossip and like in the spotlight thing. Streamers X said this to comment, and now they're having a fight with. They're getting sued or stuff like that.
Do you know how many streams I've been in where like someone in the comment section will just jump in randomly and then just be like, "Someone said X," and then leave, and then the streamer who reads that comment, they're just like, "What am I supposed to do about that?" Like, I don't really care.
Yeah, I was watching this really small like streamer. And by the way, when we say streamer, like people who either like play video games or make music or something like that, they're just like live streaming and they're showing the world what they can do. I was watching a small streamer a couple of days ago, and there was a random dude just walks in and he goes like, "Hey, do you like Australians?" And she's like chewing, like she's eating food, like obviously, and she doesn't like answer like right away back because she's chewing. And then he gets like mad and starts like cussing her out. So she finishes chewing. She puts down her fork and she goes, "Thank you for your comment." And she bans him. And she can never come back. I'm like, that's simple.
Dude, that's such a nice way of just wrapping that bow on there. And
that's like, oh, okay, you can walk in. First of all, I was eating, so like I can't. I have respect for myself and you guys. I'm not gonna speak while eating. Cool, that makes sense. I respect that. Then she goes to she's like, "Okay, thank you so much for your comment." Blank, block.
Yeah, I can't. That's something that I haven't anticipated. And I definitely can't just blanket say anything. The amount of psychological toll it takes on someone reading people say stupid stuff all the time, it would even get to me. So when I see people do stuff like that, I'm like, man, good job, bro.
A lot of people are like getting hurt from this, and sometimes it's like, why do we need this?
It's a lot of unnecessary conflict, and all of the same people just would not have that kind of attitude. Like if you met them in real life, bro. They'd be
like, "Oh my god, hi. How are you doing today? I'm so sorry."
Fake, quick, so nice. Like you wouldn't even have a problem.
You see like a rapper or something like, "Oh my god, hi. How are you doing today?" Oh my God, hey. But you go back home, you're like, "Bro, he was trash. He smelled funny. Bro, he was doing this.
Gross, bro.
Why he's so tall? Freaking, I don't know."
Yeah, but so then I guess another generational thing is careers.
Careers are weird.
Another kind of like cancel culture where it's something that just progresses, more and more as newer people are born and experiencing the world, but. I feel like millennials that they're old enough, they've already accepted the hard truth that this is the end of the road. There are limitations on careers. We are in the middle where we're just now realizing how to reconcile your dreams and your future. And then Gen Zs are like very much pushing because millennials and Gen Ys are talking about it so much.
Yeah.
Gen Zs are basically like they're trying to fight so hard to get what they want in the future and not have to give up their dreams.
Yeah. And once again, that caused a lot of issues. And I don't know if these issues will ever, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Get fixed? Is there a solution?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to round out anytime soon.
But, like, for me, for example, I'm a Gen Y. I understand both sides, right? But even when I talk to, like, my parents, they still have that, you got to grow up, you got to go to high school, you got to go elementary school, middle school, high school, college, get a job, get married, settle down, money, die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what if, like, I want to travel the world one day? No, you have this like course, you have this path. How are you going to fit that in?
It makes sense too where they're coming from.
Sometimes it makes sense
because when
they understand, they've lived through it.
Like we talked in the last podcast, there's a lot of situations from when you grow up where it just looks like the doors are closing on you.
Yeah,
it looks like you don't really have any other ways.
Yeah, and so it's like, and also like you got to give it to them. Sometimes they're correct because they've lived through it. My mom was like, yeah, no, I traveled this, and this, but at the same time, I wasn't able to do this, and this.
Yeah.
And so, like, they know what they're talking about sometimes, most of the time.
But then when you look out in the world, you see sprinkles of the exception, right?
Yeah.
You see people most of the time with hella cash who can just like do things, and you're just like, man, what if
I become a streamer?
Things? What if I could just do things, bro?
Yeah. And so, and it's weird and hard at the same time because how do I explain this? They're like you see people who are living their lives and they're having hella easy jobs. They're just out there making YouTube videos and they're making podcasts like us, and that's all their job is.
Yeah, or they're
but then you try to explain
selling scam books online about how to make $1 million in one day.
Those people make a lot of money. But then like you try to explain that to your parents. You try to explain that to your parents, and they're like, "What? No." And I don't know if you sometimes read or like see things, but like, have you ever seen like streamers whenever they try to explain to their parents how they're dropping out of college to just become a streamer?
Yeah.
And like their conversations they had, I've heard a lot of those stories.
You know, it's really weird because like I have that boomer mentality. Whenever I watch people who are like streamers say that they want to do it, I'm like, but you're old.
Yeah.
Or like you're gonna have kids.
Yeah.
And they're gonna see you stream. But then at the same time, I'm like, yeah, go for it.
Follow
your dreams.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. I have both of those voices in my head rolling around every time I talk. You know what else, dude? That I think this is just a me thing, not necessarily a Gen Z thing.
Oh boy.
But I hate how because of not Gen Y thing, but because Gen, like we were talking about earlier, they have their own idols, and that's how that's kind of permeating.
Yeah, Gen Z.
I don't like now that being an internet anything is mainstream. Like, it used to be nice that being a YouTuber or whatever, that was our thing, right? Just like social media, that was our thing. But now everybody talks about influencers. I hate that word. Everybody talks about
and creators are just like the dumbest words.
And I'm just like, bro, it's just a homie on YouTube trying to live his life, just trying to vibe, bro. Why you gotta idolize and like make it so big? Because then it starts becoming mainstream, and then I don't like it anymore because then it's not my thing anymore.
Suddenly he's an influencer.
Yeah, like if you... And this kind of goes into what I wanted to bring up next, but like our lives and how we've seen the internet evolve. If you go to the very beginning, bro, it was just people doing fun stuff.
Yeah.
No one went into it with the expectations of being famous. They just did it. And as a result, it was a very genuine place.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of content you're reviewing, right? And now it really seems like everybody who goes in is expecting to become the next blah, blah, blah. And it's taken a lot of that wholesomeness of the content out.
Okay, there's two parts I was gonna go say to that. I forgot the first part. Oh no, I remember the first part. Pretty much that you start seeing people, like you said, like from like the beginning, their genuine reactions, general lifestyle, what they want to do. Then it slowly becomes famous, and everything starts going to crap. No, I just lost my train of thought. Never mind. Idea 2. It's that idea. What was it? There's words I want to say, but they're not coming out correctly.
But like about how people they changed the way the platform was.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's lost. Never mind.
You lost it?
I lost it.
That's fine.
And it'll come back in like 5 minutes and be like, wait, go back. We're gonna go back like 6 steps.
But okay, so then starting at the beginning, right? When I was a little kid, Instagram was a place where people were just posting whatever. Mm-hmm. It wasn't as bad as Tumblr and how like gross it was, but it was still pretty okay. I would post the weirdest things. Don't ever try to find my Instagram account. It's the weirdest
I definitely will go do it.
You probably will. You're really good at that. But
by the way, if anyone ever sends me your first and last name, I'll find you online somehow. Don't do it.
He's really good at that. But
I found my friend's girlfriend
within
20 minutes.
Yeah, it was freaky, bro.
All he gave me was she's tall and she's brunette, and he has over like 300 people on his Instagram, and I'm like, I will find her. Literally, he left. He's like, if you can find her, and by the end of the night, by midnight, and it was 9 p.m. He's like, if you can find her by midnight, I will just like I'll let you talk to her. And this was like a brand new relationship, bro. I found her in 20 minutes before he even got home. I was like, hey, is her name blah blah blah? He goes, and he just hangs up. He goes, screw this. I'm not doing this right now.
Yeah, well, you smelled that one out. But
that's also an issue with like Instagram. It's like, or any social media, you can find people really easily.
If you know what you're doing, if you know how to use the searching, then you can really...
Gen Z, bro, they'll find your mother's uncle's stepbrother.
Yeah, there are more and more trained stalkers that are becoming part of the normal
Don't ask me
now.
how I know all my stuff, but like a lot of younger people, bro, they're scared what they can do now.
Yeah, it's...
They have way too much at their fingertips.
But, so, in the beginning, when I was young, social media was just a place to express yourself. Very much the inner parts of yourself, right? You were just expressive. And then it started to get more and more and more about, like, you can actually make money off of this. You can actually make a job. And then it started getting more and more and more manufactured. Yeah. And I can track it because there was a time where this guy who I followed ever since, like, 2001, right? 2004, he started his YouTube channel. Or 2006. He never, ever would talk about anything else besides the content he was making. And now, if I watch his videos, there's like 4 ad breaks, and there's so many plugs, and there's so many different things, and classic YouTuber XYZ. And when I go back and I watch his older videos, I'm like, who is this man? I'm like, where did he go? Because this is not the same guy that I'm watching nowadays. And it kind of disappoints me, actually. Yeah. But another thing. So when we were younger, right? When we were younger, I remember I got my phone around 13, 14. Yeah. Like I had a cell phone just to make calls because my parents were worried about me around like 10 or 12. But then I actually got my first like iPhone at 14.
Same, I think. Yeah. And
I didn't use it for really anything except Instagram and YouTube. And I didn't even expand out of that. I think the next phone I got was after middle school. It took a long time for me to get another phone.
Yeah, the first time I got a phone was, I think, 6th grade.
Yeah. And then, same. 6th grade.
And then I got an iPhone. My very first iPhone, which I shattered. My very first iPhone in 7th grade. Yeah, in 7th grade. In 7th grade. And all I was doing was games, YouTube, and illegal movies.
Yeah. I mean, what? Totally.
What do you mean? Not watching movies soap today. But, like, that's pretty much it. I don't really have, like, I got Snapchat and Instagram very, very late. I felt like I was really late.
My friends actually had to convince me to get Snapchat in like 7th or 8th grade because I was like, I don't see the point. I don't think I want it. And I mean, I still don't use it.
When Snapchat, Instagram, and Vine blew up.
Oh my god, dude. I was too young for Vine, so that's why I never actually got to use it.
I never downloaded Vine, but I would like watch like the YouTube compilations.
I would watch the YouTube compilations. Yeah, that's how I got my Vine.
There you go. Now people actually get on TikTok and watch it. And, like, they're downloading it and they're like 6 years old. But like I didn't never actually got into like that social media stuff until late middle school. Yeah. And then when I got to high school and everyone was like, yeah, no, add me on Snapchat. I was like, can I just get your number?
Yeah, I really just wanted people's phone numbers.
Yeah, I was like, that's...
But now Snap... Isn't that the thing? Snap is like what you go to pick up somebody with. Yeah. You ask them for their Snap.
Like, hey, yo, baby girl, let me get that... Baby G, let me get that.
Can I get those digits, bro? not your other digits, your Snap code. Let me get your Snap code. Can I get that barcode, homie?
Let me get that scan.
But
that's it. Yeah, that's it now.
That was like our standard, right? And now, obviously we're here where we are, social medias, whatever.
Back up real quick. Did you? I don't know. When did you get Instagram?
I got Instagram I had an iPad before I had my iPhone, and I had Instagram on that. And then after that, even after posting, then after that, I basically had it the moment I had my phone.
It might have been just me or like me and my friend group or something like that. But I remember in middle school when I first downloaded Instagram, there was this whole thing like, can you add other people on Instagram if you're like, for example, like I was not cool, but like I was known, but at the same time, like I didn't know if I was able to like add girls to Instagram. You know what I mean? I'm like, am I allowed to? Like, am I cool enough to add these people?
I can just press follow and they don't have to talk to me?
Like, am I allowed to? And it was kind of so weird.
Pictures?
It was kind of so weird. Like, not like a moral thing. Am I allowed to add these people? But I just didn't know if like socially I was allowed to. You know what I mean?
She got her braces off? Oh my god.
Do I go talk to her about that?
Can I talk to her?
I didn't even tell her. And she didn't even tell me. How am I supposed to bring this up in conversation?
Is that weird?
Yeah, no, I don't know. For some reason, like during like...
I still had that though, because I never talked to people. I would just post.
Yeah. The big like Instagram, whenever it started exploding, it was a thing to add people on Instagram.
Oh, do you know what? So Instagram I had kind of off rip, but every other big app I never had. So Kick was like the biggest thing.
I had
before
Kick
WhatsApp,
just to talk to people on Roblox.
My mom and dad would not allow me to get Kick. I don't know why. It was just another.
Bro, I remember having Kick and talking to random girls on Roblox.
Dude.
So I was like, yo, you got Kick? Yeah, I do. Oh my god, add me.
There was
don't judge me. If you know me, no, you don't.
Even as a dude, I was into like girls stuff. Uh-huh. So when there was a Tinkerbell TV show that came out on Disney Channel, and then they had an online game, and I was on that online game, and I met somebody who I probably wasn't a girl, but I was like dating them every time I was online.
Yeah, same
we were
thing.
like
Roblox.
fake. Yeah, and that was like my first like fake relationship, and I only realized years later that was definitely not what I was thinking. But
yeah, no,
like that's how innocent things were back then. That's how easy things were back then.
It's like, should I add this girl? Sure, let's do it. But it's just like in that little bubble.
Oh, man, remember I mean, it's less now because we're so used to it. But remember when like follower counts were like a really big deal?
Mm-hmm.
Like people would be like, "Oh, I'm up, bro. I have
In
more
middle
followers
school.
than you."
In
so
middle
you
school, and
follow
like beginning
me.
high school. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was like a subtle rule where if you had less followers than somebody, you don't add them; they add you.
Oh yeah, it's like if you have if you're following more people than people are following you, you're
Oh
not
my
cool.
god, yeah, I forgot.
You're not cool
There was
at
like
all.
if you followed too many people, then you were the one.
If it doesn't break even,
you're basically like you're basically artificially
you're fake.
inflating how many followers you have, so it doesn't really count.
Yeah.
But so you have to have like a little follow list with a huge follow.
You got to buy your followers.
You got to buy your follow. Oh man, I remember when those apps came out with the bots and everything.
They're like, hey, add
still a
6,000
thing.
people to your Instagram. Like what? Why?
So for millennials, I'm guessing this was definitely a weirder shock because they watched this kind of explode in real time while we kind of grew up with it.
Yeah.
And then,
they had when the computers and like this type of stuff. They had computers for, I'm gonna say like work, barely Facebook.
yeah, no, the internet even wasn't like as evolved.
Like the
back
big
then.
boxy, like the big boxy computers where you just
Computers
take
still
it.
had CD readers in them.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
They don't have CD readers anymore.
Not
That's so
anymore.
sad.
What's it called? They had like thumb drives.
I got some X-rays the other day, bro, and because we didn't build my PC with CD readers and none of the laptops we have don't have. There's no way for me to see those X-rays because they were burned on a disc.
I have to go like somehow
I have to go to the library.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But when I don't know, computers and internet started blowing up, they were still kind of like new to it. They're like, how do I press this button? But us, when we grew up, we were kind of in the middle. Like Gen Y, we were kind of in the middle. We grew up with, I'm gonna say not nothing, but like no like in technology, but more of the scuffed low end of the technology.
Yeah, we were kind of walked through it versus the Gen X's who had to grow up to it.
Yeah. They're like, how do we do this? Why is this suddenly now a thing in our late 30s?
And kind of sprinkled around our generation at the higher end, but then also into the Gen Zs. They grow up with this tech savviness base. I remember when I was a kid and I would laugh at my parents about how much little they didn't know. And then they would tell me, wait till you're older and everybody else will know more. And I'm literally, I'm watching that happen in real time, bro. And it's so freaky that kids, like just like little 4-year-olds understand how to use the YouTube, like For You page and all that stuff way better than I do.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Like earlier, you and I both said we got our first phones to make phone calls and text messages. And stuff like that.
Because back then there was
barely
a difference.
like YouTube.
There was a difference between a mobile phone and an
iPod,
and an iPod, which was just for small
for
apps,
entertainment.
And then there was an iPhone. I forget the distinction of the name. It was mobile phone, and then there was like an app phone or like something else.
Something weird like
that.
that.
The difference was one is just for functions, one is for everything.
It's
else.
like a
smartphone.
Smartphone.
Smartphone. Everything else that was too big, and I didn't have a smartphone until middle school started.
Yeah.
But dude, if it were me now, I would wait till my kids were in a like 7th or 8th grade to give them phones.
But then they're gonna be the weird ones out.
Nah, it's fine. no, like honestly, kids, if you don't let them become losers, that's actually a good thing about them. Like it's a humility thing that they grow up with, knowing that I didn't have it and I get access to it.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's like when you have an iPhone versus when you have an iPad.
Like one of the students I'm tutoring, she doesn't have a phone, but all of her friends have a phone. She's 7, all right?
What the?
She's 7. She's in first grade, and I found that immensely weird. And she said, I feel bad about it, and I was like, but it gives you character, so don't worry about it. Don't get a phone. Phones are stupid anyway. Because she, you know what she does? She plays outside. She watches not that much television. She has a lot of friends, and she's kind of smart.
I can't hit a higher for
Me neither.
I was waiting for you to stop talking.
I lost an octave a long time ago.
Yeah.
But she's like a normal human being, and now, oh my god, dude, I get disappointed in myself. I get disappointed in myself when, like, in the morning, I can't not go without watching a video.
When you wake up,
silence is weird for me now.
Yeah, when you wake up, you're like, let me check the phone. Let me.
It's like my routine. I don't like brushing my teeth if I'm not watching something. Yeah. Because it's so boring for me to just sit there because it's not part of my real life, right? My everyday.
Yeah.
But I remember, dude, I wish I could go back to when I was a kid and I would entertain myself perfectly.
Yeah.
Like my mind wasn't dependent on feedback. It feels like a weight on me now looking back, but I just wish I could get that back.
And all of those, like that feeling exactly is because we grew up with lack of technology. We had it, yeah, but it wasn't as advanced as it is right now.
Yeah.
The kids right now, Gen Z, who's growing up with iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, and all this stuff, and they're hella into it.
Oh my god!
Like
again, this is very boomery of us to say.
Yeah, we're on the millennial side right now, guys. We're on the boomer side.
Maybe the boomers were right. Okay, they had racism, which was not that cool. Okay, but maybe they were right about technology a little bit.
Listen, cancel culture is listening to us.
Cancel culture is real, but no, like
yeah, no.
I know kids who like have dodged bullying. So they only experience just the normal social stigma.
Yeah.
And that's because they don't have people online who can say whatever they want about them all the time. You know, okay, so this is a little bit more of a mature topic for people listening, but like girls have to go through so much crap. And then on top of that, adding social media, dude, I'm terrified of being a father for a daughter.
Yeah, never have a daughter.
Like, dude, my girlfriend tells me how much, like, through her aging, not just being older now, the demanding of photos and like weird comments and like all of this stuff that, why would you ever want to put a kid through that?
Woman.
Why would you ever want a little girl to grow up knowing that?
Woman.
Right? And then vice versa. There's so much garbage put out there. Why would you ever want a little boy to look at that?
Yeah, it's hard. Like now that we have all this technology and all this stuff. Dude, you can do what's that one joke? All your math teachers are like, you're not gonna have a calculator with you at all times. You have to memorize this, and this. No.
Yeah, now part of that information is you don't need to know everything because you can just look it up in 1 minute.
Literally, my first day at Lowe's when I worked there. I was like, what's the remainder of $9.54 to $10?
Hey Siri.
I literally pulled out my phone real quick. I hit the numbers. I was like, oh, all right, cool, that much.
It's like if you could. This is probably going to be another podcast topic for another day, but like, you know, having the talk with your parents, I very, very nicely dodged on the internet any sort of topic about all that. So I grew up with a moderately innocent, very happy child.
You were very innocent. When we had this conversation, all of our friends and you were a very innocent
I was
kid.
not like ever exposed to anything bad. But nowadays, bro, my little brother, my 12-year-old little brother, right, gets those webtoon ads that when you actually click on them, you find out that they're advertisements for adult stuff that is on a website for people to just make nice like, it's not inherently evil, it's just to make comic books, but the ads that you get are the ones for all the weird stuff. No. All of the weirdest things. And my brother got a Trojan ad, you know, the other day. You know, he got a Trojan ad, and I didn't even have to explain it to him. He knew what it was already, and I was like, oh my god, what?
Yeah, and on that same topic, we are, what's the word? Dehumanized?
I know exactly what word you're talking about.
Desensitized. We are desensitized to a lot of things.
Oh my god, dude, like, for real. That weird tough skin and weird tough places.
Yeah, like if you ask like adults, like, oh my god, I can't see blood. We grew up like looking at like
dude. Okay, so like
Call of Duty getting blown our faces off or something.
In our culture, there is an extreme group of people who like do a lot of like body rituals.
Yeah.
And my mom and my dad, like, they can't stomach looking at that. But when I see it, I'm just like,
cool.
My video game has better graphics than this.
Yeah. Why is there no blood coming out?
Where's the shooty bits, right? Yeah. And that's another reason why I think our parents were really like afraid, because they are seeing how desensitized we were to certain things. There was a big tragedy that happened a few years ago in a church, right? Or in a mosque. And when I saw the video of it. Some of my friends couldn't even watch it. My parents couldn't watch it.
I saw the video of it.
And I saw it, and I felt disgusted with myself that I was like, it doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
And it's
when
because
I watched it,
in real life the violence is a lot. Yeah, like violence is not as crazy in real life. In video games, it's way.
I don't remember who I was watching, but
or in other things in general, not just video games.
I was watching a video with, I don't remember who it was. I think it was one of our friends, and she was a female, and we're watching a video, and something really bad like happens, like I think like an animal dies or something, and I was watching it, and I was like, okay, and I scrolled to the next video, and she goes, what?
Like that didn't phase you?
She's like, I looked away and I was about to throw up. That's horrible. You didn't get phased at all. I'm like, no. Am I supposed to?
Yeah. No. Sometimes I look at myself and I'm like,
am I normal?
Maybe the innocence was good.
Yeah.
Even though we make fun of it a lot, maybe the innocence was a little bit better.
And here's the thing, like how when you have a kid, now next week, February, when you have a kid, we're only going to be further into technology. We're only going to be further into this world.
There's only going to be more problems to deal with.
Yeah, you can't exactly hide them from everything.
Yeah.
So like what age are you gonna give your kid a phone?
Like especially
or any sort of technology.
Especially with brown parents, a lot of that is avoidance. The strategy is you don't touch it.
You don't touch it.
I think if I was a parent, 7th or 8th grade phone, I would try to push it as much as possible. I don't know how, but my mom, like every time I'd be like, but all my friends have one, I feel so left out. She had the power to say no, and I just pray.
Yeah, bro.
God,
do you know
when I'm that age, I hope that I can say no and then put them through, because I know it's going to be better for them in the long run.
Do you know where I am right now in the video gaming world? Where are we right now? PS5 and Xbox Ones? Mm-hmm. I'm still on a PS3. I'm still on a PS3. If for you who don't know this whole like PS thing, PS3 came out what, like 2012? 2011? I'll look it up right now.
Probably.
But like it came out
a long time ago.
And that's because my parents were like, no, we're not getting you a PS4, a PS5, add $400 to each one. And I'm just like, what? Why not? Everyone else has one.
Yeah, dude, it was so hard. All of my friends, I had an Xbox 360 and all my friends had PS. Any Sony products, and I was always like, Mom, please. Bro, and they said no for so long.
No way.
That was so good for me.
PS3 came out in 2008. I am 13 years late to any sort of video game. I still have the original Call of Duty games.
Yeah. I
have never bought a game after those.
Thankfully, I was up in the video game.
Like all of our friends now, when we start playing like games and all this stuff. Literally, I was talking to one of our friends yesterday, and he's like, "Yeah, aren't you gonna get this game?" I'm like, huh?
What console?
What do I play this on?
I'm two generations
We're
behind?
playing on PC now?
Oh, what?
How much does that take? You need this much? So how? But you ask a Gen Z person, they'll be like, yeah, this is what you need. You need this, and this. And it comes out on the 28th of October, and you're going to need this and this and this. It'll be $13.99 plus shipping and handling. I'm like, dude, relax.
Before we record, you're actually telling me, like, for your sister who's millennial, like, the whole progression of laptops, just, like, as a technology, that little, like, part of the world, she watched it.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's weird.
Like knowing before computers, small computers that are huge boxes, like you basically have a microwave wherever you go, and then now where we have like little thin pieces of paper, like that's kind of insane.
Remember when Steve Jobs came out with the first iPad? Did you know how he presented it? He presented it in a manila folder. So it shows that there was a lot of like psychology behind that. People were like, "Oh my God, no! He's just showing it like a package just showed up right now. Haha, very cute. It's a new iPad." The reason he put it in like a manila folder, like the ones with little tabs on the side of it, was because he was trying to show that it was that small.
Yeah.
And like there's a whole psychology behind it. He's trying to show that it's that small. So whenever he pulled out the iPad, everyone's like,
"It fit in there." What?
What did he say? And like it's that whole thing. You go from a big computer, boxy looking computer, boxy TVs, to I guess a laptop, to I guess like a 36-inch TV that's like slimmer than like you.
I remember having to ask my dad the difference between why there was a giant chunky thing in the back of my TV and then why the newer TVs that are coming out don't have that huge thing. And he was like, well, tube TVs. And he had to explain the concept of tube TVs to me. And now kids grow up knowing that they have the ultra thin HD 4K resolution.
You want me to blow your mind real quick? You want to blow your mind? How many cords do you have on the back of your TV? Not that many anymore, huh?
Dude,
maybe just like the power one, right?
Red, white, yellow,
power, HDMI,
the brick,
all that stuff.
The vent, the dust, all the time. The dust, bro. Yeah. It gets so dusty back there.
I still have one of those like not like one of the brand new ones where you don't need anything but just like the power cord. I still have like all the red, yellows, and all that stuff.
Oh my God, I have the VGIs.
And I'm like,
everything.
Huh, cool. And then you go look at you go to Costco and you see all those like new TVs that they're presenting. And none of them have cords except for like maybe one cord. Or they're like curved towards you or something.
And now
like that.
the TV connects to the Wi-Fi. You don't need to Ethernet it.
Or it connects to your phone, so you can just Apple Play.
Yeah, I remember Samsung Play. When I moved houses, right, and I came to this house in 2014.
Yeah.
The TVs, the big thing was connecting to the internet, but it was via Ethernet, right? So you needed to put it somewhere where a plug was. Now it's all fully wireless.
It's all just connect to your Wi-Fi.
I know. It's insane. And like air charging, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane.
You put your phone on top of another person's phone, charge your phone.
Yeah, the whole bump thing. That's nuts,
that's the weirdest thing on earth.
And then I remember back in the day when
VPNs.
when the iPhone charger thing was so wide and every single charger would break like a few days after using it and you had to constantly replace them and you had to live with exposed wires. Dude, do you remember did you ever like get that like Facebook thing from your mom or something where they were all saying like your phone is dangerous, don't keep it next to your face when you sleep and all that stuff?
Yeah. Or don't put it under your balls whenever you're driving because it'll give you radiation.
Whether it's true or not, bro, I do all of it, bro. I keep my phone away from my face. I don't wear headphones when I go to sleep. I remember my teacher, my bio teacher, or my social studies teacher in 7th or 8th grade. One of them told me that she was like, "Okay, girls in the class, here's just some straight science. Keeping your phone in your back pocket makes your butt bigger." And she was trying to explain some stuff about radiation and all this stuff. All of the boys in the class, we were like, excuse me. All the girls in the class were like freaking out. And she was kind of right because there's something about it.
Yeah, no, I remember in my old house when I was still a kid, like they were coming out with like new articles that like many men are coming out with like what's the word? Testicular cancer and stuff like that because when they're driving, they put their phones between their crotch.
That's exactly where I freaking put my phone.
That's where I put my phone too.
That's exactly
and
where
it's
I
not
put
like
my phone.
Like I don't know. It's like kind of simple. We'll just put it there, and you're not gonna throw it on your side seat if someone. I don't know, but they came out with so many things like that, and I'm just like, huh?
Dude, you know what else is an invention that I, even though am in the middle generation, I refuse to use? Those suction cup car things or whatever you do, like some medium to plug it in your car so that you can put your phone in it.
Oh yeah,
hold
the
it.
stands,
phone holders.
the phone stands.
I will not use phone holders for the life of me. I will not use phone holders.
My brother got one, and then he got a new car, so he left that one in the old car that I'm driving right now, and literally it's in my glove box.
Yeah.
And whenever you see me driving, I'm just holding it like the GPS. I'm like, okay, that's where I'm going.
There
take
are
a left,
kids.
put it back between my legs, take it back out.
There are kids that I know that say it's so useful, but then every time I just think about
it's really useful,
like,
yeah.
hooking it up in my car, I just feel like a raisin, and then I just don't want to use it.
And it just feels odd.
It just feels really odd. Like, you know, the brand that does I forget what it's called, the things in the back of the
pop sockets.
The pop sockets. They made an integrated magnetic pop socket
yeah,
holder thing, and I'm like, that's a good idea, but I still will not do that. Oh man, do you remember when pop sockets were a thing?
I had one.
Holy crap, I had one too. But
do you know where my pop socket is right now? On my nightstand, on the side of it, so I can I can put my charger on it and just cook it.
That's kind of useful. See, I still have the pop socket that Thomas gave me for my birthday. Still haven't used it, bro.
Yeah,
I still haven't used it because like it bulges out of your pocket. I don't know how long we like accepted that, but I remember literally.
Is that a pop socket? Or
everybody, I remember when my brother was like still young and he didn't really have a nice phone. He just had a phone. He was like, "Can I have a pop socket?" And he wanted the ones I had, and I guarded them. Like,
wasn't it supposed to be like there's actually a medical thing behind like your fingers are spread out or something?
Oh yeah, it's I mean it's not good to keep that in your hands all the time, but it's also not good for your like pants, stretching it out. You have a giant freaking circle on your thigh. I remember. When we were doing like school stuff, they would say make sure if you have a pop socket on your phone, they don't put your phone in your pocket because you can see the roundness. It's actually unprofessional when you're wearing tighter, work clothes, office pants and things like that. Slacks. It shows a lot more, and people did not like that.
Bro, any of the Gen Z people listening to this like, wow, these guys are old. We're not that much older than you. I'm going to tell you that right now. See, we're not your parents.
In the cliff notes I've got on for the podcast, I do want to clarify that I at least am a very old soul on the inside. I both understand the future and the past. And I'm still pretty boomery though. But
I listen to old people music. Not old people music. I listen to older music. You know that. I listen to I listen to the 50s, 40s.
Awesomest playlist, bro.
I listen to that. Not only like this like old like opera. I listen to opera too, bro. I listen to that Mozart stuff.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like this music, or going into music for a second.
Yo, passing a movement, listening to
opera,
okay, bro.
Listen, hey, that's between me and you, bro.
That's another feeling, bro.
That's for another day, all right?
When you hit the high notes for real though.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Yesterday I was listening to music, and while I was using the bathroom, right, bro, and it was just like the song was hitting me in my soul, and I was singing, but I wasn't singing because like it's like 4 a.m. and I'm taking a dump, and I have my headphones in. And I'm just like singing, like mouthing my words. And I swear, I was like, my throat was hurting because from how hard I'm like singing. And literally, I felt my bowels move. I'm like, it's getting pushed out, bro. It's almost like you're constipating and trying to push.
You're flowing. You're creating the movement yourself, bro.
Okay, this is not what I want to talk about. Music.
You're following the orchestral pursuit,
bro. Okay, no, back to where I was going with this music thing. I listen to older music just because now music isn't like
captivating.
Yeah. It's not as normal and as interesting to us anymore. That's why I listen to older music. And I'm not saying like old, like, yeah, sure, I listen to like Dean Martin, that type of stuff. But I also listen to like 2000s stuff and like up to 2010.
Yeah, I think it's because we've also reached that age. But now it's not just what's pop that we like. We're looking
for
further for newer stuff. But yeah, I feel like a little bit of an old soul on the inside. Don't really care about it. I feel like it's more of that Gen Y thing I'm talking about. Very neutral, very in the middle.
We're very in the middle. Like I think Gen Z. I don't know if we explained it well or not in this podcast or not. This episode, but Gen Z is very opposite of Gen X, millennials, and we're just in
We're
the
just
middle,
chilling in the
along
middle.
for the ride.
Yeah, we're just part of that gradient.
Every now and then we'll bounce to one side and be like, no, we want this. No, we don't want this. No, this and this. We'll bounce to one side. But it's like we're most of the time we're in the middle.
Yeah. Hey, Gen Alpha, if you're watching this, bro, if you're
I'm so
listening to
sorry.
this, I'm so sorry, bro.
Gen Z messed it up, not us. I promise.
Good luck, homies. That's all I gotta say. I hope you guys the water level is still normal and the sun isn't burning.
The sun isn't burning.
And,
California's the new Mad Max series.
I hope Louisiana's still there. Not flooded or whatever.
Texas is its own country.
Yeah, Texas is.
Bro, that would be weird.
I'm waiting for that day, bro.
There's no more. The government is gone.
Yeah,
we have the
this
purge
top
set
of the
in.
government. Oh,
It's like I don't
we
know,
go back
bro.
to the cowboy days, bro. I mean,
gotta
we're
stand
already there
outside.
with the
gun
gun
laws.
thing. Oh my god, dude!
Let's
yeah.
not start on that.
I saw a meme that it was like back to the cowboy times, bro, with the freaking
God,
guns
bro.
everywhere. Anyway, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in and listening to all of our wacky thoughts.
If you're Gen Z, hello. If you're Gen X,
hello.
If you're Gen Y, hey, what's good?
Hey, what's poppin'? How you doing, bro? Let's go, bro. How you doing?
You're not the special kind, but you are the special kind.
I'm saying
What's that one saying? That's like Gen Y is scared to ask the waiter is scared to get their order fixed, but they're willing to like fight the government and fight a rhino or something like that.
Yeah.
Bro, that's so true.
That's
That's
so
it.
bad, dude.
If you didn't learn anything from this podcast, here's what you take away.
Yeah.
Gen Y is scared and they will not fix their order or their haircut, but they will fight the world.
Yeah, but we got
with like head on
government stuff. And
we will change the world for
media,
us.
whatever.
Anyway, thank y'all for listening.
Yeah.
It was fun. Let us know what you think about if you're a Gen Z or a Gen Y or a Gen X.
Oh yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the case is.
Let us know in the whatever.
Do you agree? I feel like a lot of people probably be like, "What are these kids talking about?"
Yeah, no. I mean, as long as you're not freaking spewing toxic waste out of your mouth.
Yeah,
let us know.
If you have
Let us know what's going on.
cancel culture DNA,
Oh yeah, get out, bro.
keep it.
It's all good.
I tell you that right now. We don't care.
We don't talk about K-pop yet, so it's all good.
Yeah. Oh what? Okay, relax. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
All right.